Hello and welcome to Provisionally Approved. My name's Billie Egan.
Hi, I'm Mike Gorrie, and hashtag Gorrie Fact, Gorrie's most well-documented superpower is a telepathic connection to Kanye West's sunglasses.
I'm Katy Harrison.
And I'm Taylah Jade.
So guys, I guess we're kind of here to chat about our own experiences in the world of media and kind of our involvement in RMITV. So Taylah, kind of what was your first kind of introduction to RMITV?
My first introduction would be being a production assistant for Misguided.
Awesome. And how was that? How was that experience for you?
It was very rewarding because I got to do things like audience bookings and interact with audience and see their opinions on things.
Yeah, totally. How about you, Katy? What was your start with RMITV?
The first thing that I did for RMITV was actually Mike's show, which is The Ascenders. I was the assistant director, and it was a good place to start, I think.
That's pretty massive though, like coming on to like a half-hour sitcom as an assistant director as your first kind of thing. Like, that's pretty insane.
Yeah, no, it was. It was, I don't know, it was just kind of one of those things. Like, I just, with RMITV, you just kind of get emails, and like I hadn't actually got anything I signed up at the start of the year and I hadn't got anything, and then that was the first thing I saw and I was like, oh, cool, okay. I signed up for it, and it was a lot more chilled out and laid back than I really expected it to be. Like, I kind of, I actually got lost the first scene that I shot. I came in and I was like, I don't know where I am. So I was like texting Will and I was like, I don't know where I am. And he was like, I'll come and get you. So I was like, okay. And I was like really, really scared. And then I just went upstairs and everyone was just like hanging out. And I was like, oh, cool.
Was this out at Box Hill? Or?
No. This is in Building 80. We were shooting like one of the office scenes. I think.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that was the...
I was majorly lost. I was sitting downstairs for like half an hour by myself. But I was like, I don't know where I'm going.
So that was the conference room scene?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
With the graphs.
Yeah.
That was that day.
Yes,
yeah.
I remember. Okay. Yeah.
So that was my first experience. It was really good.
And you guys are doing the diploma in...
Screen and media.
Yeah. And so were you guys like... recommended to join RMITV when you started that, or how did you find out about it?
Actually, this was something that we shared. We saw a poster on the wall in the old studio, and me and Taylah were sitting next to each other, and we were like, "What's that?" Because we'd never heard of it before, and so we asked our teacher Mark, and he
encouraged us to sign up.
Yeah, he just encouraged us, and he said, go to the hub, sign up. And so that's where it all started.
That's where it all began.
Yeah. That's where it all began.
And then we told our whole class to go.
Yeah, we were like, everybody sign up. We're like rallying.
Advertising.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
And that's cool now because you're in the works of kind of doing your own production at RMITV. But what else has it just been The Ascenders that you've worked on?
Yeah, well, that's the only kind of location-based shoot that I've done. I've done both live and location shooting. So I don't know, I've kind of dipped my toe in everything.
And do you prefer location or studio?
Oh, definitely location.
Yeah.
I do love...
I'm the same.
Yeah.
I love the studio, but I'm more comfortable
I completely agree. Well, just because I think that I am more geared towards, not live TV.
Live TV is hard.
It's very stressful, and I tend to kind of panic under pressure. I mean, like I'm usually like, I come out on top, but it is pretty stressful. So I think a location-based kind of, or at least to start with, I think that's definitely the kind of thing that I'm more geared towards.
It seems like you're probably more interested in kind of fiction work.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah, rather than, like a talk show or anything. Yeah. Not to say that talk shows are bad, but,
See, I'm the opposite. I prefer studio-based.
Do you like studio stuff?
That's cool. I think you're more in the environment. And that pressure kind of motivates me to work harder. So I definitely would choose studio.
I feel like I do like studio work kind of. I guess the location work that I've done has been like such high stress, like 10-hour shoots.
Oh, yeah.
Like, short films, it's like hard and it's stressful, but like with studio, there's just like up and down time, which is what I really, really like.
Yeah. With studio stuff, it's, I've always found it's a lot like doing theatre. Just in the sense that it's all live, it's like it's all either do or die, and if something goes wrong, you have to improvise, and you have to improvise fast.
And it's all really choreographed and everything as well. So it's just like it's like a well-oiled machine. A well-oiled machine.
Yeah.
How about you, Mike? What was your first RMITV production?
My first was Live on Bowen, season 3. That was October.
You were a part of that.
literally 2 years ago now. Wow. That still always kind of surprises me because it feels like such a short time. But yeah, I jumped on board with that as twice on camera, because both in the studio and for the field shoots, and as an editor.
Awesome.
And so I kind of got my start with that, and then sort of moved up from through editing toward I used the field stuff to become a field producer the following year, as well as sort of editing on a couple of other projects. And now I'm sort of doing editing for money while doing all the other stuff as part of my spare time.
So it was like Live and Bomb was like a really great stepping stone and sort of like
it was pretty huge.
Yeah,
It's a good place to start.
Yeah.
It's like...
Yeah, because it's kind of like, I remember when I came, because I was a line producer for Live and Bomb in season 6, the last season, and I did I field produced as well. And it's like, you underestimate it for like kind of like a studio, like a student-run production, but like when you get in there, it is massive. It's like 40 writers, 40 crew. It's insane. It's really insane.
I think that's a really strong difference, particularly with RMITV, between a location shoot and a live shoot. It's just everyone is so professional on live shoots just because they're so under the pump, so
totally.
There's the dynamic is completely different. That's at least what I've found.
Whereas with location shoots, people feel like they've got a lot more leeway, and so they don't sort of put in all the quite as many safeguards. And so it's a lot easier for things to sort of fall apart a little bit.
Definitely.
So you need a good first AD.
That's right.
This gal here. But no, it was really great. Like coming to Bowen, I learned kind of so much, and I guess being at VCA and stuff. They kind of are really built on bringing auteurs and stuff and stuff like that, and everything's they try to make it as high production value as possible, but coming on and doing a lot of sketch work with Live on Bowen and really, really quick, just shooting on DSLRs, I was gonna swear, whatever. I love shooting on beautiful cameras and all that, but just shooting on DSLR 4 hours, get it done, that sort of stuff. It really kind of opened my eyes to kind of micro stuff and just getting shit done, having some urgency, rather than spending a year on a short film, just going out and shooting stuff. And that's kind of what I loved to learn, and kind of you kind of forget about you just do it.
Yeah,
cool.
No, definitely.
But you're making your own half-hour sitcom now with RMITV The Ascenders, which is pretty insane.
Yep, it's a big job, which is why I'm really, really glad that I only have to do parts of it.
And what is your role in it?
So I'm the executive producer for that. But I suppose exec producer could really mean anything, because technically it means I don't have to do much, other than just sort of make some of the bigger calls. But I'm also sort of the head writer for it, and I'm also sort of in the lead role in front of the camera.
Oh, cool!
Which
like a one-man show.
Well, a little bit. I'm aware that that tends to seem really egotistical, but I mean it is egotistical. I'm gonna own that. But that wasn't sort of the reason why we did that.
It's not like you're writing, producing, directing, and starring.
Yeah,
you're not
a one-man crew.
No, the main reason for me to jump in front of the camera on that was because I don't see myself as a good actor. It's more just okay, I have acting experience, so I can sort of do that stuff. But it was more a thing of I've seen productions fall apart because actors had to drop out for various reasons. And
You're just playing it safe.
Yeah.
It was literally.
We don't have to find a leader.
It was literally a case of I'm sort of installing myself as sort of a safety net, so that if other cast have to leave, it doesn't kill the show.
It was also your story, though, wasn't it? It's pretty personal to you, isn't it?
Sort of. the idea came from the stuff that I was doing before Live on Bowen,
which was a sketch comedy, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. Alex, who's one of my co-producers, and I, we were running sort of an online sketch comedy thing, like basically just putting a video up on YouTube every week with a few friends of ours. But we had a few dynamics emerge within that where we were kind of trying to push to sort of constantly go that little bit further, get things a little bit faster, and generally just sort of raise the standard a little bit each time, which, ended up sort of burning ourselves out on that a few times. But, of course, when the rest of the group is sort of just like, we're a bunch of friends doing this for fun, people only sort of want to step up a certain amount. And so the resulting dynamic was that we were constantly sort of pushing. There were a couple of other people who were really good at what they were doing, but they only had so much time to put into it. And there was one or two who were sort of saying, well, look, no, as soon as this stops being fun, I'm out. Which, fair enough. And they were honest about it. But it was sort of a thing of like, once that dynamic emerged, as soon as we wanted to actually sort of move it in one direction or another, there'd be conflicts that came out of that. And so that was kind of where the idea for the Ascenders came from, that sort of amateur rock band's dynamic of, like as soon as things shift, everybody's pulling in different directions.
Awesome. And I guess like a thing that I really loved is like Live on Bowen gave me a lot of confidence to kind of go out and pursue other things. How about you guys? Are you guys kind of doing anything else in the media world at the moment?
Well, I'm currently shooting my end-of-year film.
Yes.
For the diploma that I'm currently doing. Enrolled in. I've also been helping out in friend shoots, so I've acted in one of them. And
awesome. Do you guys have to crew on each other's films? Is that kind of a requirement?
Yes,
so you guys kind of getting a really great overall view of what to do.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and even just in our classes, we've kind of, that's a good thing about the diploma, I think. You kind of get to try everything.
Yeah, I kind of wish I'd done it.
It is really good. And, you get a shot at being in front of the camera, which is like, for a lot of people, I mean, obviously Taylah and I had like very minor acting experience, but like we have acted before. But yeah, I can imagine for some people it would be quite
confronting.
Confronting. Not everyone is comfortable in front of a camera, and like even now, being because I've not really been in front of a camera per se. I'm more of a stage actor. So it was definitely confronting, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I think the good thing about it is when you work within the media field, you work as a crew and a family, and I think that helps bring out, for some people, confidence. They can find confidence within themselves when they feel comfortable with the people that they're working with.
Yeah, totally.
I think that's a very important aspect working in the field.
And so have you guys wrapped on shooting both of your films? Or?
No, I haven't commenced at the moment.
Okay. It's exciting.
Yeah, we have like 3 days to shoot.
Oh,
so,
that's pretty good. What are you shooting on?
As in like what camera?
Yeah.
Just the JVCs. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sorry.
I was like, is that what they're called? I was like, I don't actually know. Just JVCs, but not just JVCs then.
And so like we just had that little glance across the room, like hang on, what are JVCs? I don't know what JVCs are. What are?
It's a camera.
Yeah, but like what kind of?
That's JVC's the brand.
Oh, it's the brand. Okay.
I don't know what
it's a
type
video
of
camera.
All I know is that they're JVCs. That's just what we call them. So
right. Okay. Yeah. I was thinking of it in terms of like, okay, there's DSLRs and then there's like the studio cameras and like.
No, they're like studio cameras.
Yeah.
They're not like this.
Sony,
but like, they're like just.
So like the shoulder mounted kind of.
Yeah.
That'd be like that'd be probably like the equivalent of like a Sony Z7 or something like that.
Sure thing.
Ignore me.
I don't know. I'm not a technical.
Neither am I really.
Yeah, but you just.
I'm just curious. I'm just curious because I always want to know what like different like courses do, like what Swinburne shoots on. And
I don't know about other schools, but we definitely shoot on
JVC.
On the JVC.
Definitely have all year,
Yeah. No, they're decent cameras.
Oh,
yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, it's kind of like an experiment, isn't it? Like.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, they're 5-minute films. You've got, 4 people, including yourself and your crew. Like it's really
So
it's just
coming together
bare
and
minimum.
working hard.
Honestly, I think it's more of a test of group dynamics than anything. And we've had, I would say, close to half the class drop out of our course.
Yeah.
At least our class. Yeah, like so many people have dropped out. We're just weeding out the ones, really. Just get rid of them.
My parents both went to film school, and my dad was telling me that like after the first year they just tell people not to come back. Like the people that can't hack it, they would just like don't come back. You're not cut out for this.
There's some people that I would say that to.
Yeah,
to be honest,
totally. I agree. Also,
Pruning out the weak ones.
yeah,
That's what I want to do.
natural selection.
Get rid of 100%. There you go. That's exactly what Darwin was talking about. Just getting rid of film students.
It's intense. Like you need to.
It is.
You need to like.
You need to be able to work together. You have to be. And it's like, I don't know, it's one of those things. Like there are just always going to be people that are difficult to work with, but it's kind of how you handle the situation that I think is important. So that's what I try
Something
and
that you definitely take from the media field is people skills.
Yeah.
You learn so much
definitely.
people skills and communication.
Yeah. I mean, you just, especially when I was working on the Ascenders, like I just had to walk into a room full of people that I didn't know. They all knew each other, so I was just kind of like, hi, and that was honestly such a daunting experience. Like I don't know if you could tell how nervous I was, but yeah, I was really nervous.
It's a pretty normal thing though. Like you sort of like pretty much everybody who comes on set for the first time is sort of a little bit, like am I doing this right?
Exactly.
Like where do you want me to be? All that sort of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it was.
Yeah, and usually within sort of a few weeks, people have sort of worked all that stuff out, and they're suddenly they're the new people. Well, they're now the people in the room who people are coming in and going, oh god, they seem to know what they're doing so much.
That's so true. That's so true.
Just my motto is fake it till you make it.
Oh, 100%.
When I came into the first week of Low World, I had no idea what was going on.
Yeah.
I just was like,
Yeah.
way.
Well, especially doing like a DA job or something, you have to kind of direct people, and it's like you don't know them, and I don't know, especially for me, like they were a lot older than me, and like I was just kind of like telling these people what to do, especially with my my short film for the thing, like for our short films. I had just even having an actor, he was like, I don't know, like mid to late 30s, and I was kind of like, is this okay that I'm talking to you like this, like telling him what to do? But it's like, it's my shoot, like I'm employing him.
Yeah, totally.
It was just really weird. I was just bossing around this 30-year-old man.
Working out how to be like strong and like
exactly
and efficient without being rude.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's like a real fine line for me. I find it difficult to be bossy without being, annoying.
One of the techniques that I usually use for that is when I want something either from the actors or from some of the crew, I'll always frame it as a question.
Oh, that's clever.
So I'll say
now everyone knows.
You've shared your secret.
Yeah, I've spilled the beans. Like I don't mind that, but as in like I sort of feel like doing that. Like they have the chance then to sort of say, well, no, I can't do it like that because. And then we can actually sort of turn it into a dialogue of like, okay, well, what can we do that sort of approximates this?
Is that just like changing like can you to would you? Is that like what it is?
Or like, do you think this is a good idea?
Or do you think you could go down and
do you think you could get us a cup of coffee?
But it becomes sort of a thing of like because say like I want my camera guy to sort of say I want him to get a shot from over there by the wall. But then it ends up sort of looking like a really awkward shot. If I'm just telling him to do it and not giving him the chance to object, then I'm not sort of like...
You're not opening a dialogue between your crew.
It becomes a lot less collaborative and a lot more sort of authoritarian, whereas sort of having that sort of position of like, like giving them the chance to object and explain why, and then sort of saying, okay, like, I get that, but we need to do this anyway, or, possibly saying like, oh, okay, well, let's do it this way instead. Like that basically means that that everybody gets to do their jobs properly and actually have that input.
That's good. I'm just a tyrant.
Just like a tyrannical dictator, like no one can tell you what to do.
I was lucky because my best friend was the head writer on Bowen.
That's cool. That's cool.
And we ended up she was in the green room a lot. And I used to be able to take out my irrational anger on her.
Oh, yeah.
Can't fill up my water bottle. Okay, just take it. So
that's
you know,
so good.
with your mum when you call up and you're so mean to them, and you're like, it's just because I've had a bad day and I just need to be mean to someone.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
Yeah, so she was always there to be my punching.
That's really awful. No, but I think that a lot of people don't realise that it's just so different having a friend working with you.
Well, and she's obviously really important because we are kind of like a duo. We want to create stuff together in the future. Yeah, cool. Obviously. So it's good that we've worked out that relationship.
No, that's amazing. That's really cool.
She knows how to deal with me perfectly.
Yeah.
Because I was a line producer on Bowen, so it wasn't so much creating content rather than just producing and crew management and stuff. But I'm really excited to kind of be a part of RMITV now and kind of get to do my own thing and create my own stuff, which I think is kind of really important to do when you're at this age, rather than get stuck in kind of crew roles and wait to find out what you like. You kind of get to try everything here and work it out from there.
No, definitely. And I think the good thing about RMITV is that literally anyone can be a part of it. It does not matter. I remember on the first shoot that we did, the DOP was 16.
Yeah,
and he was amazing.
He's a really talented kid.
He was really good. And so I just walked into this room and there was this young boy and I was like, hello. And like I said, I'm used to kind of being, the youngest person in a room, but just meeting this young kid, I was and I didn't think he was 16, but then I was just so what are you up to? And he was like, I'm in school. And I was like university? No, I think I said, do you go to RMIT? He was like, no, I'm 16. And I was like, whoa, taken aback.
How did you find him?
I'm not sure actually. Obviously, he'd obviously signed up to RMITV because we found him through the crew calls. And I'm the question in my head is how did he know about RMITV and
That's
actually?
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, I did not hear about this until I was
we saw the poster.
Well, he's not he's not the first, because I know there are a few people around who are still at RMITV now who've been involved since around that age.
That's insane.
But it's sort of that thing of 1 in every couple of hundred.
Yeah.
I'm sure
that's really insane. Oh, 100%. Yeah, and so that's why I was kind of I wish I had known about it, because I discovered. I realised that I wanted to be a filmmaker when I was 15. So I just wish I kind of had known about it, so I could kind of get myself into it a bit more. But I didn't find out. I mean, not that I'm completely off the market, but it's just, I do wish I had known about it.
Yeah, no, it's really great opportunity.
Exactly. It's just such a good experience, just put it on your CV.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, it's an amazing experience for your CV and also for yourself to grow.
Yeah.
And to know your abilities as well.
That whole sort of personal development thing.
Especially
definitely.
Now, because I'm involved in Offbeat, I'm one of the daily producers for Offbeat, which is a daily live-to-air show. So it's a live-to-air show every day. So, it's kind of that's pretty insane. So, and that's a training show, and so we're training up a whole kind of. I like to think of it as the new generation of RMITV coming through now, and everyone's I'm always so shocked. Everyone's so keen to learn and ready to go. And I'm from Sydney, and there's just nothing like this in Sydney at all. And coming to Live and Bowen, so shocked because you wouldn't be able to get 80 students or 80 a team of 80 people who wanted to get involved in community TV. There's nothing like that on TVS. It's insane.
Yeah, well, I mean, just the caliber of the stuff on Channel 31. It's almost surreal, it's just, you wouldn't expect it to be as professional as it is.
Totally.
Just a bunch of kids running around kind of making their own stuff, but it is professional, That's what amazing.
And RMITV aim to kind of foster a industry standard of how shows run, which is important too.
Definitely.
Especially with the tech side of things. If you're interested in doing tech stuff, then you're learning.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, even just seeing the facilities and everything. It's just looking at everything that we have. It's wow, we're so lucky. It's so professional.
Blessed, yeah.
Hashtag blessed.
Well, yeah, just sort of that thing of it's a. it's a sort of a safe place to make mistakes as well.
Yeah,
Totally.
Because
Yeah.
it's sort of that thing of, you know, if you're walking onto a professional set for the first time and you're being paid for it and you don't really know what you're doing, you're probably going to get fired pretty quickly.
Yeah, so true.
But here it's sort of like, well, yeah, because, like, specifically because it's volunteer stuff, you know, if you're making mistakes, well, fair enough, you know, you're doing this in your spare time. You know, even just by turning up, you're sort of already sort of bringing value to the organisation,
Yeah,
to the
and
show.
I think that environment is what encourages people to like come back. You know.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely, definitely.
Definitely. It's not a daunting place, it's an encouraging
No,
place.
Yeah,
not at all.
totally.
Yeah, that's so true.
A learning environment.
It's beautiful. It's truly, truly beautiful. I love it.
Learning. Yay.
It's just one big happy family.
Yeah,
you know?
totally.
Let's all get along so well.
Well, the social element of it is kind of a big deal, actually, because like I found
Kind of a big deal.
yeah, kind of a hashtag big deal.
Wait, okay, ready?
Hashtag
Like kind
big
of a big deal.
Because I sort of
drink
found,
all,
like, when I first joined Bowen, it kind of refurbished my entire social life.
Wow.
Because
Sorry.
it wasn't like I didn't have a social life before then, but it was like suddenly I had a much bigger one.
Yeah.
Because actually one of the things that really worked for me on that was that like there was actually this other guy who did all the same jobs that I was doing. He was helping out on the field shoots, mostly with camera stuff. He was doing a lot of the editing, you know, probably about half, possibly even more than I was doing, because I was working so much at the time. And people didn't really know that he existed. And the reason for that, I think, is because he wasn't like after the studio shoots every Friday night. There was a huge group of us that would all go out and get beers, and so of course, you know, socializing with everybody and actually sort of making friends and, you know, sort of having those bonding experiences. And, you know, by the end of the season, I had this sort of massive reputation for, you know, for all the editing and camera work and stuff that I was doing, and he didn't. And I'm pretty sure the only reason for that was that I showed up to the parties.
Yeah. Yeah, fair enough.
Mike Gorrie, has any advice for any young people out there? Just go to the parties.
Yeah. Sing a couple of frothies. They'll love that.
Well, no, but even if you look at, you know, corporate environments, you know, like say big business conferences and stuff, most of the big decisions aren't made in the board meetings. They're made in the bathroom.
Wait.
Party in the bathroom, okay?
I think it's like a social environment. You're like the bathroom.
No.
Is this true?
But I mean, in the sense that, like, you know, people will be sitting around a table for an hour, you know, just having this business meeting and possibly having all this stuff going on in their heads, like, okay, you know, we're paying attention to all this stuff that's going on. 5 minutes later, they'll go, you know.
So I'm just imagining this scenario.
5 minutes
Just like
later.
cubicles having a conversation.
5 minutes later, two of them will be standing next to each other at the urinals, just sort of having a relaxed conversation about what's just happened, and that's when the ideas will happen.
That's beautiful.
For men, yeah.
It's male dynamic.
I know.
Just like writing on the toilet paper, passing it away. Just get brunch. I love it.
Well, and you actually just hit the nail on the head, Tay. Like that's actually like part of the problem in like sort of corporate sexism and all that sort of stuff. Just
Girls
the fact
don't pee
that,
together.
Institutionalized. We don't get to pee standing up. Nailed it.
But I mean, the same principle applies to, like, say, getting lunch afterward or going out for drinks or all that sort of stuff.
All that girly shit. All that girly stuff.
Well, not necessarily. I mean,
I'm kidding.
showing up to the parties, basically.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just some of those parties happen in the toilets.
Toilet party. That's what they call it. It's a professional name.
Yeah.
Yeah, but girls are a lot more sophisticated in that. We're like, let's just get brunch.
Yeah, pretty
that's
much.
probably better.
Have a couple
I
of
think.
mimosas. Get the creative juices flowing.
Have like a proper debrief over coffee, like
Over some Bloody Marys.
yeah. Bloody Marys works too.
Any alcohol that you can drink in the
I feel like
morning.
having a business meeting while you're peeing is like a massive power trip. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like a size up. Like,
I love it.
so weird. I don't know. I can't relate to that.
That also freaks me out about that guys pee together, but that's not what this is about.
Well, we don't deliberately pee together. We just sort of show up at the...
I feel like it's just ingrained in culture now. It's like, we can't go back now.
Yeah.
We can't shove them in a cubicle now. They're used to it. You know?
Yeah, a little bit.
Anyway, I digress.
It's really weird.
I'm literally just thinking about girls just sitting in like private cubicles, just having this conversation. Just, you know?
Well, that happens too, right? Right?
You talk to each other in the cubicles.
Well, I don't know. Some people do.
I can say from experience, I've never had a conversation in a cubicle.
I've never done it myself.
In the same cubicle?
But I've had experiences where like, for
I
example...
feel like this went from, like, talking about, like, institutionalized sexism to talking about, like, bathroom practices. I feel like
Bathroom practices.
that I've missed a link between it.
But it's relevant to the principle, right? That like as that thing of you have to put in all the hard work, but you also have to like make sure you make time to have those experiences where you're building the contacts, like, and you know, sort of just making yourself sort of visible in the social sphere as well. Because then, you know, you can take that back onto the set or back into the writers' meeting or whatever, and you've got that.
Yeah. I don't know if
Dynamic?
I necessarily agree with that in terms of, like...
In like a bathroom setting.
In the toilet.
No, just generally in terms of having to, like, a social setting, but I don't know, maybe that's...
Yeah, but I understand what you're getting at. Maybe it's different for boys. I don't know.
Oh, maybe it is. I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't make the rules.
I just follow them blindly.
Fine. Oh, man.
Sorry, yeah, it was just an
I can just
observation.
imagine Mike, like, hiding behind a cooler as, like, the boss walks by, just, like, jumping out and following him to the bathroom.
Hey, maybe
My chat!
I've got an idea.
I'm pretty sure that would be noticed.
No, you're just like speed walking behind him, just trying to catch up.
Or just, like, plotting every day when he goes to the bathroom.
Yeah, it's like got like a diary.
He's going to go in about 5 minutes. I'll just go wait in the cubicle. He's like,
Make a full like whole sheet on his like toiletries.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Just like schedule
Poor
it
guy.
in.
No, he just like sets an alarm every time he pees and just like, time to go.
You just open the bathroom door and this like fire alarm goes off. It's like, oh, that's my cue.
That'd be amazing.
I guess to say that I did like going for Friday night beers. It was like 11 with my crew.
I have to say I've never experienced that.
Oh,
I've
really?
never been invited.
Well, it usually ends up like in terms of things like Live on Bowen anyway. Like it's usually sort of an open invitation thing. Pardon?
Do you guys do Ascenders beers?
If you do, I'm going to be very offended.
Because if you have done and you haven't invited Katy.
No, the main reason that we haven't done that is because we're usually shooting on Sundays.
That's true.
And there's not a lot of stuff that's open on Sunday nights, you know, past, I don't know, whatever time we'd be going to. Yeah, McDonald's. Yay!
Yeah.
Post-shoot McDonald's.
Yeah. Love it.
Boys.
Like, it's actually a little bit frustrating that, just in the sense that, like, the original plan was to sort of have, you know, sort of a party every month, you know, sort of after sort of finishing every episode. But the problem is, like, for both episodes 1 and 2, there's still, like, a couple of pickups that we need to get that we haven't been able to get because of availabilities and that sort of stuff. And so we're sort of waiting on that to actually have that sort of big screening party sort of thing.
Totally. Well, anyway, guys, it was lovely to meet you guys all and have this chat and get to know all of you. I've been Billie Egan.
I've been Taylah Jade.
I've been Katy Harrison.
I've been and still am Mike Gorrie.
And this is Provisionally Approved.
Hey, I hear you ask, why are we all sitting here like this? Find out at our YouTube channel, youtube.com/RMITV, or
Find out more at RMITV.org.
Do it.
Yeah.